This is Sally Elatta, and I am here with the awesome Doc List. What's up, Doc?
Hey, Sally. That was good. I like that. Thank you.
You are awesome. Doc is an enterprise Agile coach and trainer, and Doc, you have recently been certified as an agility. We have blessed you as an agility health facilitator.
That's right, yes.
And what I was hoping that you could do is kind of share, now that you've gone out there and you've done some of these TeamHealth retrospectives, is there any story you can share with us around any aha moments or your experience facilitating some of these?
I'll pick one, because there's been more than one. I did an assessment with one of the teams I was working with, and the team identified as their lowest competency on the radar their velocity, their predictable velocity. And when we looked at then what contributed to that, we had wonderful, wonderful discussion, and the database developers on the team identified a particular bottleneck in working with the database architects. Okay, and the whole team agreed with this. So it wasn't just the database developer said, I don't like this, but rather the whole team said, yes, we're experiencing that as our main slowdown. And so this database developer came to me and he said, I would like you to print out for me, not the whole radar report, which is great, but specifically the team goals, because that goal plan, that growth plan, identified what the team had put together as our biggest obstacles and what we want to do about it. And he took that with him as a tool for discussion to talk to the database architects and the manager.
So he had data now.
He had data, and he had
Was it friendly? Was it friendly data?
It was friendly data, yes.
Good.
But more important was that it enabled him to go and not say, I feel this, but the team has identified this as our biggest challenge in having predictable velocity.
So how can you help us?
Right, and they came to a plan together to modify the way they were working, so that they could then have a more effective working relationship. This team, over the course of 3 sprints, quadrupled the number of points they delivered.
No way, are you serious?
I am serious, yeah.
Wow.
They went from roughly 18 to over 80 in 3 sprints, simply by changing the process, which they were able to do with the catalyst of having done the Agility Health Radar and identifying this key point. And I almost wish I was making this up, because it almost sounds too good to be true, but it's real.
I didn't pay him to do this.
No, well, no. I mean, this, and it blew me away. But the guy who actually went and had the conversation made a point of coming back to me to say, having this on paper to show them as a team artifact made all the difference.
That's awesome. You know, my part of why we did all this is because we feel like teams, they go in so many sprints and they go, that they never just slow down enough to analyze more strategically and find what their low-hanging fruits. There's things like that it's like, if we could just all agree to them and go communicate them. So I love that. That's like a team-to-team kind of impediment resolution, and I love that story.
Well, for me, it was also that when we looked at the radar, and this stood out, it really pointed the conversation, because normal retrospective, you can go anywhere and you don't really know why, or somebody's complained or whatever. And so the power of this was that it was such a focused conversation.
Awesome. So someone asked me and said, the radar, it's so big, you know, should we fix all of it? Should we jump into this and jump into that?
Yeah, fix everything at once,
so because you're really an awesome coach, and I love how you kind of dig deeper into what they really, how do you know, where do you focus with the team? When you kind of look at their radar and, all right, they're not doing well here, they're not doing well here, how do you focus the conversation?
So let me tell you how I go through the radar, because that'll give you that picture. So I start with that summary, right? The wheel with just the big wedges. And I'm looking at, is there a wedge that's standing out? Just for discussion, I'll start with a little bit of that. And then I'll expand it, you know, reduce the big one, so now I see the detail. I don't usually go to the detail view, but rather that more detailed pie wedge,
summary,
the pie chart. And again, I look for visually what stands out. And we talk about that briefly, but then I go right down to those 4 reports. The top and lowest competencies and the top and lowest consensus competencies. And then I know the teams, right? Because I'm working with these teams. And I'll see the lowest competency and I'll say, you know, we all know what's going on there. There's nothing that we're going to do about this right now. It might be road mapping. And the product organization is having a challenge.
with sharing their vision.
or even having a vision.
Okay.
And so the team can't do anything about that, and so we'll agree to not even talk about that, and I'll look at the next one. In this case that I was just telling you about, it was predictable velocity, and so we talked about that. Then I'll look at the lowest consensus, and I'll ask them, if it seems reasonable, why is there such a spread here? And that's where I'll bring up the detail chart and say, okay, so somebody's at 30% and somebody's at 100%. You're on the same team, and especially if it's one of the ones about how the team is working together. Why do we think there's such a spread here? And we've had some fascinating conversations about that, where we're eliciting the detail of why one person maybe is feeling
Really
less
low,
encouraged
just high.
and somebody else, and we learn. And so
Yeah.
I use those, particularly those 4 reports, to drive that conversation and my knowledge of the team to make sure we don't bother talking about things we don't need to. I also go to the top, by the way, because I'm not going to ignore those just because they're good.
Yeah, if they're good, we want to celebrate success.
Well, not just celebrate success, can we do more of that, right? So it's sort of
Yeah.
an appreciative inquiry approach, right?
Yep.
Okay, it's good. What more can we do that gives us that same thing or
Awesome.
more of that goodness?
Yeah, I've always said the average number means nothing. The spread is what interests me, and the conversation that we're facilitating around the radar. The radar is
Yeah.
not really going to do anything for you, but it basically shows you reality. It shows you how the team feels,
Well, you know,
and it facilitates that conversation.
I like to press on the plus in the middle a number of times and make it go just because it's entertaining.
'Cause it's
so it
just
does
fun.
something for me, yeah.
Doc, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah,
I
my
appreciate your
pleasure.
feedback.